Okay, hi Jamie, hi Fatima.
Hello.
We'll get right on into it. So I've just explained to you guys what my goal has been this year around e-learning, and we talked about engagement, achievement and reflection. So Fatima, could you tell me please, the blog that we've been using, it's obviously been quite a big focus this year. What do you think are the positives about the blog? What's good about it?
I like that we can share our learning on it, so we can tell others about what we're doing, and that kind of shows up our work.
Sure.
And I like that we can write anything, we can write what we're passionate about, so if there's something interesting, we can write on the blog to interest others, and mainly I just like sharing with others what we're learning.
Sure, okay. And Jane, if you'd like to add to that, what's the positives about the blog as far as you're concerned?
Being able to just show it to more people than just our work, to more people than just our parents, our friends and our teachers, being able to share it all over the world, and if you have friends or family overseas and they can see what you've been doing.
Well, why do you think that's a positive? What's good about that?
Because when you're doing that you can get different types of reflection from different opinions, and instead of having all the same types of reflections and same types of showing your work, you can get opinions from people overseas and different age groups.
Sure, so you can get sort of feedback from a different group of people rather than always within the hub of your parents or teachers. Okay, that's neat. But then you've got something to say.
It's just that if we share our learning, then maybe other people can learn from us, so they might not be in our hub, but they might also learn from what we've written.
It's interesting you say that, because I've been keeping an eye on what's been coming up on the side, and a lot of people are looking at our blog to find out more about ecosystems and about food chains and food webs. So you guys have actually become a source of information, just like when we were learning, we went to the internet to find information. You guys have actually become a source of information for other people, which is a pretty fantastic thing, to think that your learning is helping other people, for sure. Okay. Do you think, Fatima, what are the disadvantages about the blog? Is there something about it that's not so good for you?
No, not really.
No? What do you think we could do to make it better?
It would be nice to catch more people's attention to our blog, maybe get more viewers.
See if we could widen our audience a little bit more.
Give us more of a reflection if we get more people and they'll comment more.
Sure, okay. And of course blogging's a bit of a community, isn't it? So to get more comments on our blog, we can go into other people's and leave them comments and start up relationships there, and that way they start commenting on ours more. So that's definitely something we can work on. What do you think, Jamie? What are the not so positives that you see?
About the blog, it's pretty good as it is, but just having those more, being able to, it would be nice if there was an easier way to make a nice long post, like with knowledge that you can just leave a little comment and say I did this or a little bit, whereas when you're posting on the blog you need to make sure it looks nice and have plenty of information.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, and I suppose that just comes with the territory when you're presenting to people. We're sort of mindful of what we present, aren't we?
Whereas on the knowledge net you can just type what you actually think.
That's a good point. So that would be maybe a reason why you'd use knowledge net over a blog. If you want to just get a sort of a short capture moment down, that would be really good.
About what you did at math.
Absolutely.
So if you did something exciting in math, instead of having to type all about it and say who was in it and have some presentation and images, you can just type and say we did this and what was fun about it and what made it exciting.
Cool. I guess another option, if you did want it to go on the blog because that was the audience you want, then possibly you could record yourself in the video just presenting to the camera, and that way you wouldn't need to worry about typing it so much, but you can still get your message across maybe a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
That could be an option, and post the video up. Okay, tell me, Fatima, in regards to the e-learning that you've learnt here, so those are things like we talked about, the Web 2.0 tools like Poplet and Warwisher. What other ones have we used? We've used Animate, Avatar programs.
Yeah.
Go Animate, yep, Go Animate's another one that we've used. Answer Garden on the blog, we've used quite a few on the blog.
Yeah.
What do you think about those?
I think it's exciting that we get to use different tools rather than just writing on paper. Like if we get to use VoiceThread instead of writing a comment. I think they're all nice ways and different ways to express your opinion.
Go and why do you like using the different ways?
Because it just motivates you to want to learn more. Because therefore when you're learning on paper, it's not that interesting.
Okay, and how about if we compared things like VoiceThread, and we've used Vocaroo and those kind of programs, especially the voice recording or the video recording ones. If we compared that with just typing on the computer, which do you prefer to give little short snippets of information? Do you have a preference?
I think I like to VoiceThread and do videos because people are more interested in VoiceThreads and videos rather than just typing, reading a whole lot of information.
Sure, so maybe more interesting text. Is there a time though, Jamie, you think when text would be the best choice?
Yeah, particularly when you're researching for, say, some information with a book and you want to get some samples, but it's more useful to have it just written out and you can see, well, that's a good sample there, that's not the best way to write it, rather than having lots of recordings and photos.
So maybe then is it, guys, about choosing the best tool for the purpose?
Yeah.
So we have our preferences, certain things that we like. For example, I quite like Warbusher, and when I was collecting ideas earlier on the year, I would not use that quite often, but I've tried we used VoiceThread this time more recently. I've used Answer Garden as well for just little short bits of feedback. So maybe it is about using the best tool. And that's been, I guess, how do you think you're equipped for choosing the best tools?
When I first started, not really. There were only about 2 different tools that I knew how to use. Whereas now, if we were given an activity, say, design a poster, instead of drawing it, then or using a Poplar or something, then you'd use, say, Glogster or Pages.
Sure.
So,
and had you used Glogster before you started here?
No, but it was quite fun being able to make a nice poster without having to draw it on.
And each Glogster is cool because you can pop your videos and your music in and animations, and it's much more interesting than just having a flat poster, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cool, fantastic, Jamie, thank you. Fatima, what about you? Do you think that you're equipped to choose the best tools?
Yeah, there's a variety of choices that you can choose from, and it's just about picking the right one.
Sure. Yeah. And what sort of thinking do you go through when you go to pick a tool that you're going to use?
I think of the advantages that I can use from it and the disadvantages.
Sure, so for example, when you did your presentation to the Oraki board, you chose Prezi, didn't you? And you used some YouTube videos as well that you made. Why did you choose Prezi over Keynote, for example? Because Keynote's a good program too. Why did you choose Prezi?
Keynote is good, but it's just one after the other. So it's pretty simple, but when you have a Prezi, it's much more interesting and they haven't seen it before. So you're introducing something new to them and you're having it grab people's attention.
Because you want to try and get their attention, don't you? If we want a grant, we want to try and
stand out from the crowd.
Yeah, fantastic. That's cool. What a great choice. Okay, we're almost done, guys. You're doing really, really well. Fatima, if there was some advice you gave me, could you tell me what you think I've done well this year in regards to e-learning, so thinking about what we've used, and what you would suggest I could improve upon or I could change?
I like how we use you introduce us to different tools.
Sure.
I especially like Prezi, how you introduce that to us, and it's definitely something I would use in the future.
Right.
But maybe in the future you could maybe give us more time to kind of get used to the maybe the slide or the tool that you're using.
Sure.
So for example, if you gave us like a week, well, we kind of exploring, but we need a bit longer and use it over a couple of times to.
Okay. Next, do you think, would you rather that you were introduced to it over a few days and then we left it and we came back to it, say, in a month? or would you rather we spent a sort of a few weeks really focused learning it and then we moved on to the next one? What would you prefer?
Maybe using it over a couple of times, maybe using it for this and that, but not all the time.
Okay, so maybe if we sort of alternated between maybe 2 or 3 focus tools. So we focused on learning maybe Prezi and Go Animate and one other, and we sort of alternated. That's cool, good thinking. Thank you for that, that's great. And Jamie, could you please share with me what you sort of think's been great and what's been not so good, or what your feedback on?
Learning how to use the Google Calendar was fun, being able to plan our own timetables, but one thing that wasn't so good about it was that we had about 2 days to get used to it, and then we were right into it and planning it already, so...
Thrown in the deep end a little bit,
yeah.
Let's go.
So it would have been nice to be able to have a bit more of getting to know and like planning individual lessons before starting to plan the whole timetable.
Okay, that's good feedback, because we thought we were taking it quite slowly, because we're not, because we're supporting at this stage, and then on Monday we're going to get into it properly, but that's really good feedback. So would it have been less confusing if you only saw maybe a couple of lessons out on a day rather than an entire day?
And like we had 10 days and we learned about it, we got introduced, and then we learned how to use it.
Sure.
And then the next morning we had heaps of emails and lots of lessons, and it was hard to...
I had a lot of emails as well saying, Jamie's coming to this one and Fatima's not coming to this one. I had lots of them. Great, okay. And is there anything else you'd like to comment on? What else has been positive?
Learning all the different IT tools.
Sure.
When I first started here, I only knew how to use Word and search for something, and I knew a bit about PowerPoint, but now if somebody had asked me to make a presentation, then I'd be talking and maybe have a bit of a slideshow in the back, but now I'd be able to get into a group and plan a whole bunch of videos and prezis and slideshows and keynotes.
It sounds like it would be really helpful to have that going forward, especially as you get
lots of different
into
options.
college. Yeah. Sounds really good. Okay, fantastic. Cool, guys. Thank you very much for your help.